Welcome back to our channel. The 1997 penny, a coin many considered nothing more than everyday change, holds a story rarely told, buried beneath layers of copper and history. That year, the U.S. Mint produced over 6 billion 1-cent coins, a staggering number that speaks to the sheer scale of America's daily transactions. These pennies bore the familiar visage of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design unchanged since 1909, marking his 100th birthday, and on the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of reverence and endurance. By 1997, this coin was so ubiquitous that its significance often went unnoticed, lost in pockets, jars, and cash registers. Behind this seemingly ordinary release, however, there was a quiet shift in minting technology. The Mint was striving to improve efficiency and precision in its processes, especially in die creation, the steel punches that imprint the coin's design onto blank planchets. Traditionally, dies were made by multiple impressions or hubbings, a method that ensured crisp and consistent details. But in the mid-1990s, the Mint adopted a single-squeeze hubbing technique for some dies, aiming to cut production time and reduce costs. This new method was not without flaws. Slight imperfections in the die surface could pass unnoticed during quality checks, only to manifest as subtle anomalies on the coins themselves. In 1997, among the billions minted, some pennies began to show curious irregularities, a faint, raised line or doubling effect near Lincoln's portrait or the wreath on the reverse. At first, these anomalies were dismissed by many as post-mint damage or normal wear. Yet, for those trained to spot errors, they were a signal. Something unusual had occurred in the minting process. Michael Reynolds, a collector with decades of experience, was among the first to notice these anomalies. He had a habit of meticulously sifting through rolls of pennies, a quiet ritual that combined patience with an ever-watchful eye. One afternoon, as he pulled coins from a newly purchased roll, a penny caught his attention. The familiar Lincoln profile looked different. Under his magnifying loupe, he noticed a doubling effect on the date and the word Liberty. Subtle yet unmistakable. His heart raced. He knew from past experience that doubling errors were rare and prized, often resulting from a misaligned die striking the planchet twice. But this was different. The doubling wasn't harsh or clear-cut, it was ghostly, almost like a shadow doubling, faint and fluid rather than sharp and precise. This subtlety both intrigued and frustrated him. Was this an unrecognized variety? Or a post-mint anomaly caused by circulation damage? Michael decided to dig deeper. He began comparing his find to other 1997 pennies, collecting images and specimens from fellow collectors and online forums. Slowly, a pattern emerged. This ghostly doubling appeared on some but not all coins, primarily on those minted at the Philadelphia Mint, as identified by the absence of a mint mark. The community started referring to this anomaly as the 1997 Ghost Double, or Phantom Doubling, a nickname that captured its elusive nature. The initial market for these coins was modest. Collectors intrigued by the subtlety bought them for a small premium, fascinated by the mystery rather than the value. Coin grading services had yet to recognize this doubling officially, so certification and market confidence lagged. Michael kept watching, aware that the coin's true potential was hidden in plain sight, waiting for recognition. As years passed, more collectors discovered and documented these ghost doubles. Online auctions began to feature them, sometimes fetching $20 to $50, small numbers to some, but remarkable for a coin that ordinarily traded for face value. The intrigue grew as numismatists debated whether this was a true double die or a form of die deterioration unique to the single-squeeze hubbing method. This uncertainty added layers of mystique, as collectors speculated on the coin's place in history. Around 2010, professional grading services finally started to catch on. Coins exhibiting clear ghost doubling received special attributions like Double Die Obverse, DDO, bringing legitimacy and confidence to buyers and sellers. This certification transformed the market. Suddenly, the subtle doubling was no longer an obscure footnote, but a recognized error, coveted for its rarity and the story it told about minting evolution. One coin in particular captured the numismatic world's imagination. A 1997 penny graded MS65 with exceptionally clear ghost doubling and an intact red copper luster. Auctioned by a leading house, the bidding rapidly escalated. Collectors, dealers, and speculators vied for the coin, drawn by its beauty, rarity, and the layered narrative behind it. The final hammer price soared past the three-figure mark, a far cry from pennies' face value. This sale sent ripples through collecting circles, sparking renewed interest and a surge in demand. The physical characteristics of the era are as fascinating as the market's response. Unlike classic double dies with crisp, thick doubling, the 1997 penny's ghost double presents a delicate, wispy outline, almost ephemeral. The date numerals and the word Liberty seem to shimmer slightly, as if echoing their own image. This doubling effect results from the single squeeze hubbing process, where the die, under intense pressure, experience minute, almost imperceptible shifts during the single impression. Instead of a clean strike, the die's slight movement left behind these ghostly afterimages. Adding to the intrigue, some coins showed varying degrees of doubling intensity. The clearest specimens had bold but still soft doubling, others bore faint hints, easily overlooked. This variability suggested a die condition that degraded over the run, meaning the earliest strikes might display the most pronounced doubling. A detail collectors began to scrutinize carefully. But there was a twist no one expected. In 2015, a discovery in a private collection turned the story upside down. A collector named Jenna Morales, known for her meticulous approach, uncovered a 1997 penny that not only showed the ghost doubling on the obverse, but also had a pronounced, doubled Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This simultaneous doubling on both sides was previously undocumented. The reverse doubling was sharper, with distinct overlapping steps on the memorial's pillars. Jenna's find sparked fresh excitement and questions. How could the reverse also display doubling if the initial error was attributed primarily to obverse die movement? Investigations revealed that the die pair used for some 1997 pennies had been subjected to repeated hubbings under less than ideal conditions, leading to imperfections on both obverse and reverse dies. This revelation reshaped the understanding of the 1997 penny's minting anomalies. It wasn't just a subtle ghost doubling on the obverse, it was a multifaceted die error affecting both sides, rare but potent in its collectible appeal. Collectors scrambled to locate coins with similar dual-side doubling, transforming the market once again. The value evolution mirrored this complexity. Early ghost doubles, modestly priced, surged as the error gained recognition. The discovery of dual-side doubling coins pushed prices even higher. Market values fluctuated, driven by condition, clarity of doubling, and provenance. Some coins graded as high as MS67 fetched thousands of dollars, particularly if they showed clear doubling on both sides. Yet the 1997 penny's story is not just about rarity or price, it's a testament to the human fascination with imperfection. How a simple coin, mass-produced and often overlooked, could harbor secrets encoded in its very metal. Each ghost double is a frozen moment of minting history, a whisper of machinery, human oversight, and the march of technology. Collectors, like Michael and Jenna, embody the spirit of discovery, peeling back layers of commonality to reveal uniqueness. They remind us that even the most mundane objects carry hidden stories, waiting for patient eyes and curious minds. This coin's journey also highlights the shifting relationship between the mint and collectors. Innovations meant to speed production inadvertently created new treasures, bridging gaps between industrial process and artistic anomaly. The 1997 penny's ghost double thus stands as a symbol of progress, of error, and of the enduring thrill of discovery. With every purchase, every inspection, every auction, the 1997 ghost double penny writes a new chapter in numismatic lore. It's a tale of subtlety and surprise, of patience rewarded, and of a simple coin transcending its everyday role to become a coveted artifact, whispered about in collecting circles, and displayed in prized albums. As collectors continue to search through rolls, the possibility remains that even more startling variations await discovery, each promising to deepen the mystery and allure of this humble yet extraordinary coin. In the quiet clink of copper, the 1997 penny whispers its secrets, a timeless reminder that perfection is often found in the imperfections, and that the smallest details can hold the greatest stories. In 2002, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, each bearing the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that had become synonymous with the 1-cent coin since 1959. This particular year was unremarkable on the surface, a steady continuation of tradition amidst a rapidly changing world. But hidden within the millions of coins minted at the Philadelphia and Denver facilities, an anomaly began to emerge, a subtle error that would later captivate collectors and coin enthusiasts alike. The production of the 2002 penny came at a time when the U.S. Mint was refining its manufacturing processes, incorporating advanced machinery designed to increase efficiency while maintaining quality. Among these innovations were new presses and die-making techniques aimed at minimizing wear and ensuring consistent impressions. Yet, even with these improvements, the complex interplay of metal, machinery, and human oversight left room for unexpected deviations. The error in question stemmed from a minute flaw in the die, the steel stamp that imprints the design onto each blank planchet. For the 2002 penny, a small misalignment during the die creation process went unnoticed. This misalignment caused what numismatists would later identify as a double die effect, a rare phenomenon where certain elements of the coin's design appear to be duplicated or doubled due to an imperfect die strike. Unlike the bold, dramatic doubling seen on some classic era coins, this particular anomaly was subtle, almost ghost-like in its faint mirroring of date numerals and lettering. For most people, the 2002 penny would continue its existence as mere currency, sliding through transactions and changing hands countless times without a second glance. But for those with a keen eye and a passion for numismatics, the faint doubling hinted at a story waiting to be told, a tale of error, rarity, and the pursuit of something extraordinary in the ordinary. Jessica Martin, an avid collector with a decade of experience, was casually examining a handful of pennies one evening when her attention was caught by a curious glimmer on the date of a 2002 coin. Using her loupe, she noticed an almost imperceptible shadow doubling on the 2 and 0 of the date. At first, she questioned her eyesight, convinced it might be dirt or damage from circulation. But as she rotated the coin under the light, the subtle doubling persisted, revealing itself more clearly with every turn. Excitement mingled with disbelief. Jessica knew doubling errors existed, but the ones she'd encountered before were unmistakable, bold, and easily spotted. This was different. The doubling was elusive, a ghostly whisper rather than a loud shout. It beckoned for deeper investigation. Driven by curiosity, Jessica began scouring online forums and auction listings, seeking others who might have encountered the same anomaly. Her research uncovered scattered reports of similar findings, some dismissed as post-mint damage, others debated as true double dies. The lack of consensus only fueled her determination. She carefully compared dozens of 2002 pennies, cataloging those with any hint of doubling. Slowly, a pattern emerged. The coins exhibiting this ghost doubling were predominantly from the Philadelphia Mint, marked by the absence of a mint mark. More intriguingly, the doubling appeared mostly on the date and the word Liberty, with occasional hints near the motto, "In God We Trust." This subtle but consistent positioning suggested a die-related cause rather than accidental damage. Jessica's discovery sparked conversations in numismatic circles. Collectors debated the nature of the doubling, its origin, and its legitimacy. Professional grading services took notice, though the faintness of the doubling made certification challenging. Coins with the ghost doubling often received notations like double die obverse, but with cautious language reflecting uncertainty. Initially, the market responded modestly. While some collectors were intrigued by the rarity, the subtlety of the doubling mint demand was limited, and prices hovered just above face value. Jessica held onto her coins, sensing their potential but understanding the patience required in the world of errors. Over the next several years, as more collectors identified and submitted these coins for grading, the ghost doubling on the 2002 penny gained recognition. Certified examples appeared in auctions and sales, some commanding hundreds of dollars, a significant jump from their everyday worth. The allure wasn't merely in the doubling itself, but in the mystery surrounding its cause and the challenge it posed to collectors' eyes. Interest intensified when a few coins surfaced exhibiting stronger doubling than previously seen, clearer, more defined shadow images on the date and lettering. These rarer specimens hinted at varying degrees of die misalignment or pressure during the minting strike. They became the holy grail for enthusiasts, pushing prices higher and sparking speculation about the total number of such coins in circulation. One particularly fascinating aspect of the 2002 penny era was the impact on the coin's design elements. The doubling was not uniform across the coin, but seemed concentrated in strategic areas. This unevenness suggested a complex die shift during the single hubbing process the moment the die was impressed with the master design. Unlike multiple hubbings, which could mask minor misalignments, the single hub method made imperfections more likely to manifest as subtle errors. Adding to the complexity, some coins showed secondary errors linked to the doubling. Slight die cracks near the date, faint doubling on the wheat stalks of earlier Lincoln cents adapted for the 2002 design, and even minor misstrikes appeared on select specimens. Collectors quickly realized that the 2002 penny error wasn't a single anomaly, but a collection of related die and strike flaws that together created a distinctive and collectible group. Then came the twist that no one saw coming. In a private collection auction in 2018, a 2002 penny with ghost doubling was submitted for sale, but with an unexpected attribute: a small, raised dot above Lincoln's shoulder on the obverse. At first, this dot seemed like dirt or post-mint damage, but under magnification, it was clear this was a mint-made die chip. A tiny piece of the die had broken off, leaving a raised imperfection on the coin's surface. What made this discovery remarkable was its rarity. Only a handful of such die chip errors had ever been documented on 2002 pennies, and none with the ghost doubling effect. This coin was unique, a double anomaly that combined the subtle doubling with an unmistakable die chip. The auction generated feverish bidding, with collectors eager to own a coin that was both a mystery and a marvel. The final price shattered previous records for 2002 penny errors, underscoring the market's appetite for rarities with layered stories. This dual-error coin became a centerpiece of discussions, exhibitions, and publications, redefining the boundaries of what made the 2002 penny error so compelling. The ongoing fascination with the 2002 penny error highlights the dynamic nature of numismatics. Each coin tells a story of technology, human oversight, and chance. From the initial die misalignment that created ghostly doubling, through the gradual discovery by observant collectors like Jessica, to the evolving market that placed increasing value on these anomalies, the 2002 penny exemplifies how ordinary currency can become extraordinary. Collectors continue to hunt for these ghost-doubled pennies, scanning through rolls and collections with renewed vigor. Each new find adds a piece to the puzzle, clarifying the minting process, shedding light on the die conditions, and expanding the narrative that has captured the hearts of numismatists worldwide. The subtle doubling, once overlooked as a flaw too faint to matter, now shines as a beacon of curiosity and value. The layered errors, combined with unexpected twists like die chips, create a tapestry of rarity that defies the coin's humble origins. The 2002 penny's journey from everyday currency to coveted collector's item serves as a powerful reminder. Beneath the surface of the commonplace lies the potential for discovery, intrigue, and reward. In the world of coins, as in life, the smallest details often carry the greatest significance. In 2017, the United States Mint produced an astonishing 13.5 billion pennies, each one stamped with the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on its obverse side, a design that has endured since 1909. The reverse side featured the Union Shield, introduced in 2010, as a modern symbol representing the unity of the original 13 states and the strength of Congress. The penny, though often overlooked in everyday transactions, held layers of history and symbolism beneath its copper-plated surface. The minting process that year was a marvel of industrial precision and automation. The Mint's Philadelphia and Denver facilities used massive hydraulic presses to strike each penny with over 100 tons of pressure, imprinting the die's finely engraved details into zinc cores clad in a thin copper layer. Each die underwent careful preparation, multiple hubbings to transfer the design, polishing, and inspections to ensure the sharpness and consistency of every detail. Yet, even within this highly regulated environment, the complexities of die manufacturing and wear meant that errors sometimes crept through. As the presses rolled out coin after coin, a subtle anomaly began to appear on some pennies, so subtle that it went unnoticed for months. It was a faint doubling of the design, most evident around Lincoln's cheekbone, jawline, and parts of his coat lapel. Not the bold, thick doubling of a classic double die, but more like a ghostly afterimage, a barely perceptible echo of the original design, just offset slightly from the primary image. This phenomenon later came to be known among collectors as the ghost doubling, error of the 2017 penny. This faint doubling was not the result of a traditional double die hubbing error, where the die is impressed twice with a misalignment. Instead, experts speculated that it originated from a combination of factors: slight die clash marks, minor mechanical wear, and possibly subtle misalignments during the final striking. The dies might have developed microscopic fissures or small metal flows, causing the delicate shadowing effect. Because the doubling was so fine, it defied easy detection by quality control inspectors, slipping quietly into circulation among billions of flawless coins. Emma Collins was an experienced numismatist based in Ohio, someone who had spent years refining her eye to detect the faintest anomalies in modern coinage. Her love for pennies began in childhood, but matured into a scholarly pursuit. On a seemingly ordinary day, Emma sat at her cluttered desk, examining rolls of 2017 pennies freshly purchased from a local bank. She rotated each coin under a magnifying loupe, a habit formed over years. Searching for anything out of the ordinary. One penny caught her eye immediately, not for bold features, but for the subtle hint of something unusual. The doubling was not loud or in your face, but whisper soft, like a shadow of Lincoln's cheekbone lurking just behind the main image. Emma felt a rush of excitement and disbelief. Could this be a ghost doubling? She wondered. She'd heard murmurs about such errors, but never encountered one firsthand. Driven by curiosity, Emma spent weeks gathering more coins, poring over them with a jeweler's loupe and later a microscope. Gradually, she assembled a small collection of pennies exhibiting the same faint doubling. Some coins had slightly more pronounced doubling, others were nearly imperceptible. She documented each specimen, photographing details and noting mint marks, wear levels, and striking pressure. Emma's emotions oscillated between disbelief, exhilaration, and cautious hope. She knew that modern pennies rarely held such errors, and if verified, her discovery could be significant. Yet, the subtlety of the doubling meant she had to be thorough and patient. Sharing her findings on numismatic forums, she found a mix of skepticism and intrigue. Some collectors dismissed the ghost doubling as post-mint damage or mere surface wear. Others were fascinated, seeing the coins as windows into minting anomalies rarely discussed. Seeking further validation, Emma submitted several coins to professional grading services. The results were mixed. Some grading experts recognized the doubling and assigned special designations, while others categorized the coins as normal circulation strikes with minor blemishes. This inconsistency frustrated Emma, but also deepened the mystery. The ghost doubling did not fit neatly into existing error categories, challenging numismatists to rethink traditional classifications. As word spread, demand for these ghost doubled pennies grew steadily. Initially, the market priced them modestly. Some coins fetched only a few dollars above face value. But as more collectors became aware, interest and prices rose. Auctions began featuring ghost doubled pennies with detailed descriptions and high-resolution images, enticing buyers eager to own a piece of this peculiar error. Then, in late 2021, Mark James, a collector from Texas, stumbled upon a coin that would transform the narrative. In a batch of pennies purchased from a coin shop, Mark spotted a 2017 penny with a faint ghost doubling, but also a striking off-center strike where the design was noticeably shifted toward one edge of the coin, leaving a raised rim on the opposite side. Off-center strikes are rare, but well-known mint errors. However, combining this with ghost doubling was unprecedented. Mark's coin exhibited a dramatic interplay between the two errors. The off-center strike distorted Lincoln's profile, pushing part of the image almost off the coin's rim. This displacement amplified the ghost doubling effect, transforming the faint shadow into a vivid, almost sculptural layering of Lincoln's features. It was as if the coin had acquired a three-dimensional quality, with shadows and highlights playing off the raised edges and design shifts. For collectors, this dual-error coin was a jackpot, a serendipitous collision of minting quirks that defied expectations. The coin's visual impact was breathtaking and unlike anything previously documented for 2017 pennies. Mark's discovery was soon publicized among numismatic communities, reigniting interest and sparking new searches for similar specimens. The auction for Mark's dual-error penny shattered previous records for 2017 penny errors, selling for several $100s, an extraordinary leap from the coin's face value and even from prices for ghost doubling alone. Dealers began scouring bank rolls and dealer inventories, eager to find more examples. The combination of ghost doubling and off-center strike had unlocked a new frontier in modern coin errors. Technically, the ghost doubling appeared as a slight doubling or shadow effect most prominent on Lincoln's cheekbone, jawline, and coat lapel, visible only under magnification or angled light. The doubling was a delicate echo of the main design, not thickened or blurred but subtly offset, making it easy to miss for the untrained eye. When combined with the off-center strike, the irregular metal flow caused by the shifted die impression exaggerated this doubling, creating unique textural contrasts and shadow play. Collectors began to classify these dual-error coins as a distinct variety, recognizing their rarity and aesthetic appeal. Grading companies responded by creating specific error labels and categories, adding credibility and market confidence. Coins with clearer ghost doubling and pronounced off-center strikes commanded the highest prices, often crossing several $100s in auctions. Emma, reflecting on her initial discoveries, marveled at the journey from a barely visible anomaly to a celebrated and valuable collector's item. She continued her meticulous searches, driven by the thrill of uncovering hidden treasures and the knowledge that even modern mass-produced coins could hold secrets. The story of the 2017 penny's ghost doubling and its off-center strike variant illustrated the intricate dance between human craftsmanship and mechanical precision, where tiny imperfections tell stories as rich as those found on centuries-old coins. It showed how passion, attention to detail, and perseverance turn what some might see as mere errors into celebrated artifacts, a testament to the unexpected beauty found in imperfection. Prices for ghost doubled pennies began modestly, often around $10 to $20 for well-preserved specimens, but as market awareness grew and collectors sought rarer off-center examples, values surged to several $100s. The scarcity of these errors ensured that prices remained strong, especially for coins in high grades with pronounced doubling and off-center strikes. What started as a faint shadow on Lincoln's cheek had blossomed into a symbol of numismatic intrigue, a reminder that history is never fully settled, and every coin has a story waiting to be uncovered. The 2017 penny error saga exemplifies the enduring allure of collecting, where even the smallest details can reveal extraordinary tales and transform everyday objects into prized collectibles. The hunt continues. Enthusiasts across the country now inspect rolls with renewed vigor, their eyes scanning for that elusive ghost doubling, that subtle shadow hinting at a coin's hidden rarity. Each find adds to the collective story, enriching a narrative that combines history, chance, and human curiosity, a narrative embodied in the humble yet captivating 2017 US 1-cent penny error.